Well, our friend Claudia Tenney is with us. Claudia Tenney is running for re-election, of course, like all members who want to run for office must every 2 years. But Claudia Tenney's a friend of the program. I remember her fighting like hell against a judge and a Democrat lawyer, slip and fall lawyer. I think it was Mark Elias. They were trying to steal the election. Oh, can I say that? Ooh. Yes, they were trying to steal the election. And by the way, I fly the American flag the right side up, unlike the New York Times that doesn't fly it at all. And there's Claudia Tenney, and she's running. Claudia, I asked you to come on the program because I want to endorse you for your re-election if it doesn't hurt you. Is that okay?
Absolutely. It's a complete honor to have the great one endorse me.
Well, you're a fantastic member of Congress. You speak out on issues that are certainly important to us on this program. You have a tough district, and yet you're very, very solid. You're solid as you're going to get out of that district. Tell us about your race. Tell us about your opponent. Tell us where your district is so America can know.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Mark. And it's a tremendous honor to get your endorsement. I've been following you for many years. You do amazing work. You are the conservative voice, the constitutional voice, actually, for our nation. And we are grateful to you for all the good work you do as a lawyer and also for someone who interprets and understands the Constitution in the vision of our founders. So my district is in upstate New York. I virtually circle the easternmost Great Lake, Lake Ontario, all the way from the St. Lawrence Seaway, all the way around to Niagara County, beautiful part of the world, including the Finger Lakes and part of the southern tier. And it's a little more Republican than my old district. It's a good district, but we are running. We have a primary against someone who I would consider to be fraudulent and a grifter. And unfortunately, in this horrible time that we're in, especially with our great ally, Israel. And you know, Mark, what a strong supporter I am of Israel. I've been standing up on every issue. I've also been probably the biggest voice against Iran, the tyrannical leadership in Iran, and the terrorist regime there that is causing disruption to our allies in the Middle East, particularly Israel, the greatest state sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East, and just a malicious actor. And I know you've highlighted some of my work against some of the administration foes we have, like Rob Malley and others, who are really doing the bidding of Iran against the American citizens. But I oddly have an opponent who has evidenced so much anti-Semitism and has been engaged in this anti-Semitic type of activity that we've been seeing, unfortunately, in the country. You know, strongly opposed to supporting Israel, our ally, strongly opposed to providing aid to Israel, and even engaging in online podcasts with someone who is blatantly anti-Semitic and have accused the Jewish people of conducting conspiracy theories, tunnels with in New York City where he's alleging they're trafficking children. And
what is this guy's name? I got to know his name. What is this guy's name?
Yeah, his name is Dom Lucre. It's called The Truth Army. The only podcast on his website right now is with my opponent, this Frado character. And he's also involved with another guy who's a known anti-Semite named Nick Fuentes, a white supremacist, who's been involved in running his campaign.
Whoa. And, Nick Fuentes has endorsed your opponent?
He is running his campaign.
Holy mackerel, because he's a complete sleazeball. How do you like
absolutely. That? Along with, there's a number of these people out there that have been.
I don't know them all, but I know who that guy is.
Yeah, he's a bad actor. He's anti-Semitic. He's white supremacist. He's really just not a credible character. My opponent said that he would never accept money from AIPAC. He would never accept money from Jewish organizations. And he's been involved with a curious group of people involved with Kosovo and convicted people who are about to be convicted felons dealing in arms and drug trading in Kosovo. Yeah, it doesn't end.
What the hell are you running against here? What's this guy's background? What is his back? Where does he come from?
He's a native of Geneva, New York, which is in my district, home of Hobart William Smith. By the way, Mark, an important issue. Geneva, New York, professors at Hobart William Smith College a few weeks ago invited a fired Columbia professor who is a Hamas supporter, stated he is Hamas. This guy was invited to the Hobart William Smith campus to do
Lord.
an event to spread anti-Semitism and hatred of the Jewish people and hatred of America, which is really what these people are doing. And I stood up and I challenged the presidency of Hobart William Smith, and they actually canceled the event. My opponent has said nothing about the horrific acts by Hamas on October 7th. He said nothing about these horrific attacks on the Jewish people in our communities, in our colleges, from Columbia all the way up to upstate New York. He's done nothing. And that just, we thought there was this anti-Semitic.
But what does he do for a living?
Well, it's hard to say because he says he runs his family business, but he finally, after 2 years of failing to file a financial disclosure, my opponent listed that he made $23,000 a year last year, $26,000 the year before, had at least $200,000 in student loan debt and credit card debt dating back 14 years. Now, this guy is 40 years old.
Maybe he'll get one of these Biden student loan forgiveness, $35,000 checks.
I would guess he's probably hoping for that. Another thing about him, and it's just sort of an implied stolen valor, this guy sat in a podcast and said he joined the Army. We can't find any evidence that he joined the Army.
Now your son is in the military, right?
Yes, my son is a Naval Academy graduate. He's a Marine Corps officer. He's going to be a major in just about 10 days in the Marines.
Congratulations.
And so anyone who serves in our country, and honestly, we have thousands of people who have served in our military in upstate New York. A lot of retirees.
All right, Claudia, don't hang up. We want to carry Claudia through. I want to know what her website is so we can put it on my personal platforms. What's your website, Claudia?
It's ClaudiaForCongress.com. The only Claudia so far ever elected to Congress.
Really? We're talking with Claudia Tenney, who just received my endorsement. And that website again, Claudia, is what?
ClaudiaForCongress.com.
Tell everybody in the audience some of the things that you have supported while you've been in the House.
Yes, well, thank you, Mark. I'm actually a small business owner. I'm a lawyer. I did constitutional law also as a side, pro bono mostly. But I wrote the amicus brief for the Bruin case, which is the pivotal Second Amendment case that Justice Thomas wrote a few years ago. We did the amicus brief. He cited actually from our amicus brief on the right to concealed carry in New York. That was a groundbreaking case by Justice Thomas. I have one of the highest Second Amendment records, if not the highest of anyone in the state. I'm obviously unapologetically pro-life. Very strong record on Israel, very strong record on being against Iran. Small business owners stood up. I'm a member of the Ways and Means Committee. I vote to support our small businesses, to support less taxes, less government. And I really have been very strong on all these issues. I have an A rating from just about every pro-life, pro-gun group and business group there is out there. NFIB, my family has been a member with our business for probably almost 40 years at this point. And really just fighting to tell the truth in New York in a very liberal, one-party rule state that is taking the rights away and hurting our business community. And that was the main reason I ran for office in the first place. So I know what it's like to make payroll. I know what it's like to run a small business. And I actually ran the newspaper division of our family business. So I am, a strong supporter of all of our small business community. They drive our economy. They drive our business. And they're, unfortunately, some of the problems in New York are really driving us out of business. But I'm also the co-founder of the Northern Border Security Caucus because I have so much, almost the entire northern New York border, which is, with Canada, but because of New York's laws, 85% of the people on the terror watch list come across our New York border because of the laws passed under Governor Cuomo and continued under Governor Hochul. So we are fighting every day to keep our communities safe against this Northern Border Security Caucus, against these northern invaders. Because of the laws, New York State gives driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. We're now fighting, as you mentioned in the beginning of the show. I co-founded actually with Mike Garcia, the Election Integrity Caucus, the only one of its kind. We are fighting every day. First, we tried to stop the Zuckerbucks. I just got that bill passed in Congress. which would end the use of 501c3s and 4s to interfere with our elections. And now we're fighting what's called Biden bucks. That's chopping down that executive order put in place by President Biden in 2021.
My God, yes.
And what they're attempting to do is they're trying to register illegal immigrants and get those ballots in the box. We're fighting that every day. I am leading that on the Election Integrity Caucus. Those people should not be voting. I co-sponsored the bill that required ID and also American citizens to vote as required by our New York State Constitution and our federal Constitution. They're focusing on the swing states. You should know the Foundation for Government Accountability discovered that Susan Rice has been trying to register these illegal immigrants in a secret memo that was finally revealed. I'm doing an op-ed on that this week. Those people are going to get registered, and they're going to get those ballots probably in a drop box, which is code for Democratic cheating. I've been fighting this election integrity issue every single day, and it's what we need to do in order to win this election, not just the House and the Senate, but particularly the swing states, so we can take back the presidency with President Trump.
That's a great record, and that's why they're targeting you, right? That's why they send their lawyers into your district and try and grab these votes from you. I mean, you fought them right to the bitter end last time, didn't you?
Well, I was winning by 28,422 votes, and after 100 days in court looking at Mark Elias's ugly muck, and I call him the sleazy vote trafficking lawyer, you call him the personal injury lawyer. This guy is a menace. He's dishonest. He's dishonorable. He created this, the Steele dossier and part of Fusion GPS. But after 100 days, Mark, we were able to win by 109 votes, and it was. We fought that out tooth and nail every single day, and we need to do that, or the Democrats always win on process. They never win on policy, but we have to win on policy and process if we're going to win our elections.
So true. And if people want to help, where do they go?
It's Claudia at ClaudiaForCongress.com, New York 24, upstate New York. I'm running in a primary that's June 25th against someone who I consider to be a grifter, in the words of Mark Levin. This is an unserious person who has stood up and challenged New York's laws and said our criminal laws are too harsh. Are you kidding me? We have cashless bail. We have criminals on the street. We have last year was the biggest year on record where police officers were killed or injured in the line of duty in the state of New York. We have corrections officers that are in harm's way every day in our corrections facilities because of the policies of the New York Democrats. And I have a wannabe personal injury lawyer, a wannabe criminal lawyer, a wannabe actor, a 40-year-old grifter who thinks he's going to lie to the people in my community to get himself elected. And by the way, this guy who says he runs his family business making $23,000 a year miraculously has $500,000 in his bank account. Where did that come from? From a guy who hasn't earned less than minimum wage. By the way, you can work at McDonald's in upstate New York for $40,000 a year, and you'll get a 401k and benefits. So I'm just telling you, this is the type of grifters we have out there. People need to know that just because somebody says they're a Republican and they try to attack people with good records, look into their record. We have to be cognizant of this as Republicans.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people that can make a lot of money off of the online and just getting people
Claudia,
away from what we need to focus on.
Your district is massive, isn't it? It's huge.
Yes, it's huge. And the new district is 14 counties in New York State, which is very large.
I remember Elise Stefanik a few months back, I said, is yours the district with the huge flies, that are like 3 inches? She said, no. That's flies. Tenney's district. Is that right?
That's not true. She's got the black flies. No, actually, the black flies are in the North Country.
Well, then you have the mosquitoes.
Funny. The black flies matter.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, the district is, let's just tell you this. I have all of the Finger Lakes, and I have Lake Ontario shoreline. And I'll tell you what we don't have. We don't have sharks, and we don't have salt in our water. It is spectacularly beautiful, one of the most beautiful parts of our country and probably the world. It is the best place to be in the summer, where it's nice and cool and dry, and you can enjoy yourself in our beautiful lake. And my district is the #1 agricultural district in the Northeast, the #1 dairy district. And Wayne County, which is on the shoreline of Lake Ontario, actually is the #3 apple-producing county in the nation. We trade and sell our apples all across the world. So it's a very, very important part of our economy. Our ag economy is extremely important. And we also remember, because I love the Constitution and I'm a constitutionalist, I'm not a libertarian. I believe in order and liberty. I believe in Washington's concept of Republican liberty, where we need to be safe, but we also need to preserve our rights and our freedoms. New York was an original colony. We have amazing history. Harriet Tubman has a house in my district. Frederick Douglass actually wrote his North Star in my district. Susan B. Anthony, a pro-life woman Republican, was jailed in my district for voting. So the Abolitionist Hall of Fame is in my district. The suffragettes are all in my district at the Women's Hall of Fame. It's an amazing district filled with history. The Erie Canal runs through most of my district. It's an absolutely amazing historical place. And I'm sitting at dinner tonight with the great Burgess Owens, and we're talking about the important history of this district and the important idea, Mark, that what we talk about when we see this anti-Semitism against Jewish people, it is really the backdoor into anti-Americanism. And if we're going to be self-governing in the vision of Washington and Lincoln and the greats and some of the great people who led our nation in New York, we have to get our culture back. We have to get back.
Let me say this. You are one of the most energetic, don't you agree, Mr. Producer? Energetic members of Congress I've ever talked to. And you have to be. You got this huge district. You got to travel your district. Then you got to go back to Washington, which I'm sure is not a direct flight, and back and forth and all the rest of it. You're full of energy. Where the hell do you get all that energy from?
You know, Mark, I absolutely love what I do. I love our country and what we stand for. I love fighting for our Constitution. And, you know, things are more difficult than they've ever been in my lifetime. But now is the time, like our patriots, we need to rise. We need to stand up and fight. We can't back down or we're going to lose our country. And I've turned to our founding documents. I've turned to my great professors that I had when I was in college at Colgate University in my mom's hometown of Hamilton, New York. And I've just named after our great founder, Hamilton. I mean, we have an amazing history. I just believe so much in what we can do, and I want to be optimistic. I want to be positive, but we have a big fight ahead of us, and that's why I'm fighting. We have to set ourselves apart from people I call grifters and performance artists in Congress who don't believe in sticking together and getting wins for our side, but who want to just get in office to become famous or to get clicks online or to do that type of thing. We've got
Don't get mad at me. I'm running out of time. Don't get mad at me.
I apologize, Seb, but thanks
Don't
so
apologize.
Much.
Give Burgess our best. He's in pretty good shape, isn't he? I think.
Oh, he's terrific. He's been to my district because one of his childhood idols is Harriet Tubman. You know, a courageous, great leader who had her house is in Auburn, New York. Amazing. But we are so honored by your endorsement, Mark, and I love what you do every single day. I follow you. As you know, I retweet you about 5 or 10 times a day. You do a phenomenal job. We have got to take our country back. We have to get back to this sense of ordered liberty. And you talk about that. And so few commentators on our side talk about that. We get kind of caught up in libertarianism, which is nice, but it's not what our founders envisioned. We have a different society today. We need to talk about.
We have a constitution, not an Articles of Confederation.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. God bless you. Full of energy. That's important.
Thank you so much.
All right. God bless. Take care of yourself.